Our next speaker is Martine Bigos. The title of Martine's speech, All That's Left.
To what extent are we dishonest to achieve what we think we want? What wonders of life fail to catch our attention on the path to supposed success? New Jersey is one of the most competitive places to live in the United States. High-paying jobs for many are within 30 minutes of where we live. Our education system ranks third in the nation, and Pingry itself is the #1 day school in New Jersey. So what does that mean for us as Pingry students in the midst of this competitive ecosystem? It means that we are undeniably faced with a slew of grueling expectations, some so ingrained in our minds that we cannot remember a time when they didn't exist. An intense desire to succeed has become a product of our surroundings. Good grades, noteworthy extracurriculars, and memorable personalities have become, to us, components of an algorithm that result in inevitable acceptance to our dream colleges, a desirable career path, and a fulfilling life. On such a seemingly inflexible track, we are expected to differentiate ourselves in the college process, for it is, in many ways, where it all begins, and unfortunately, what we think will make or break the way in which our life unfolds. We know what sells and what doesn't, and so we seek merit. It's easy to feel validated and on our way to the elites when we receive recognition, whether that be in the form of a trophy, an acceptance to a selective summer program, or a photo of your face in the school paper. There is no shame in seeking success or being competitive, but there is great dishonor in gaming a system through artificiality because you know that such a way to falsely depict yourself will leave a smile of satisfaction on the face of an admissions counselor in Cambridge, Massachusetts, regardless of who you truly are and what you feel when you are alone with your thoughts. I fear that this scramble for recognition has left us destitute of authenticity. And here's how I know. The number of times I've heard the phrases, "I don't care, colleges like it," or "just say this, they'll love that," serve as evidence that we know what's trending and what colleges and adults want to hear from us, even if we don't feel it within or think about it when external pressures do not tempt us to do so. Yeah, colleges like it, but do you the moment you turn in for the night? Are you really going to continue volunteering on weekends once you're out of Stanford? Deceptive virtue plagues the halls we walk, but it's ugly and difficult to pin down. None of us want to admit it because we're so far in. How could we get out now? What will you say on the Common App? I care about this activity in public because I think you do, or I feel the exact same way about this opinion because that professor seems to? No, none of us will ever do that. But pretending to care about certain issues when we're in the spotlight isn't exclusive to private high schools on the East Coast, nor is it negatively affecting people on a small scale. The very celebrities we idolize urge us to take environmental action and pursue equality, appearing selfless and concerned with the pressing dilemmas in our society. Yet at the same time, many of these people fly in private jet planes, own multiple mansions that use a great deal of energy, and sweep the sickening crimes of their powerful buddies under the carpet until it goes public. Are they really practicing what they preach? And so we fall prey to this cycle of portraying how we think we need those in a position of power over us to view who we are. How can we blame ourselves when such a vice permeates every aspect of the high-pressure, fast-paced world that we live in? I'd love to be able to throw something in here to make you laugh, but I cannot water down this brutal reality with a lighthearted joke. Regardless of what I'd noticed before, it became apparent to me how I was doing that which is self-serving. Last year, I participated in LeBow, and when it was over, automatically knew that I wanted to take part in the competition again. Just 1 month ago, as I paced back and forth in my room brainstorming ideas, I kept thinking of speeches I could write that I thought would win, or at the very least get me to the final round for a photo op that admissions counselors could refer to, even if it was not a topic that concerned me. I was not thinking of ideas I wanted others to hear, but instead coming up with ways I could pretend there was. There was no message I wished to deliver, nor truth I feared to confront. I wanted glory and all its trappings. But what's that to an audience when the message means nothing to the speaker? You wouldn't be able to trust my voice even if you thought you could. If I proceeded to overshadow a genuinely passionate competitor just because the judges like the idea of what I have to say as a result of it being a popular topic today, then I'd be wasting your time for my own benefit. How is that socially just? I wanted to be recognized by the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards as National Poets Program this year, and when I read the work of winning students, all of them incorporated an aspect of their identity in their poetry. Because of this, I was tempted to milk aspects of my own background that would score points in my work. But it felt like a cheap win. Is it fair for me to pretend that being a woman or a religious minority affected my outlook on life when it could actually mean something to another writer? One of the most beautiful children's books ever written is The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Throughout the story, a young boy grows into a man who develops a desire for material items and takes parts of an apple tree he once played with to create fillers of life that he believed would make him happier. Though the tree believed that it was content with providing these items for the boy, it wasn't, because it no longer had an authentic relationship that was built on love. We can think of ourselves as both the boy and the tree. Every time we take a piece of ourselves and distort it because we believe our masterful facade will lead to approval, success, and eventually happiness, we lose our sense of self because we are not demonstrating what we stand for. We are showcasing what sells while lacking truth. Are we actually doing our part to strengthen the social fabric? How much of our life is being wasted by catering to this tried and true method? Might some of today's problems be rooted in a lack of authenticity by those in positions of power and us on our way to being adults? We have this image we want to embody, but we lose ourselves for the long haul. Hermann Hesse said, "You, venerable one, may indeed be a seeker, for striving toward your goal, there is much you do not see which is right before your eyes." Perhaps the deep-cut ethical truths we hold dear are worth our time if only we are willing to sit down and grapple with them. And it's not easy because it may take more than a second to explain when no one has ever heard it before. But why lie because you know you can get away with it to jump the queue? We play a different role in everyone's life, but to our conscience, we are one person. And in the moments when all that we have is ourselves, what are we left with? Thank you.